Hello, everybody. Welcome to another race. This is the second race of the day, Division E as well, another Group 2-2. This is NimbusTTP versus chericeri. This is another qualifying / elimination match. Whoever wins will move on to the bracket stage, and whoever loses will sadly be out of the tournament. And in this race, we have me and Zach in the box in the commentary booth.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. This is a big race for both runners. Like Smuddy said, both of them have 2 wins and 2 losses so far in this stage. And yeah, the winner of this race is going to go forward onto the playoffs, and the loser is unfortunately out of the tournament this year. But both of them have done great to make it this far. I mean, they have gotten like as much as they can out of this phase of the tournament. They've played the maximum number of matches they could have. So. Big congratulations to both runners. No matter how this race ends here, they've both done very well. But I'm excited to see how this is going to go.
Honestly, I'm not biased whatsoever. I think I'm sad either way because one of them will be going, which makes me very sad.
I know, yeah. This is the sad part of the tournament. It's all been fun and games for now, but it's going to start whittling down from
Yep.
here on out. We're going to start losing players, which is exciting, but yeah, like you said, also quite sad. And both players are also playing on a Switch 1, which does make the load adjustments very easy. Nimbus, in fact, playing is, I believe, in handheld mode.
Yes, he is.
Yep,
Fun.
in handheld mode with the camera pointed at the Switch, which is crazy. That's a small screen. I don't know if
Fun
any of you have tried to
fact.
play Odyssey in handheld, but it's difficult with a screen that small.
You could save time on on DSTA menu.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We could if Nimbus misses the DSCA window and has to go into the settings to manually change the time, you can use the touchscreen, which is like considerably faster than getting there with the joystick.
Yes.
But hopefully for him, everything goes smoothly.
Fun fact, he lost the race because his Switch died.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that. You also have to charge your Switch, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see, we've got 96%. I think we're okay for this one.
we should be. I think he learned he learned from that. It like died in Escape or something. It
Yeah,
was so sad.
yeah. No, I used to do like ILs in handheld in high school
Oh, that's
during
crazy.
like my frees and stuff, or sometimes in the back of lessons. I remember like grinding out Bowser ILs when I had, I don't know, like a 108 or something. And it was painful, let me tell you, it was very painful. I don't mind the potato can, but why is the screen tilted? That's a
Yeah.
good point. It also hasn't been lined up properly. Oh, and we're out of focus too. Oh, wow. That's fantastic. All right, we're back. Both runners are off. It looks like they are relatively synced up, which is good. So hopefully we have a good fair match here. Obviously, Nimbus does have quite the PB advantage over chericeri. That's been increased significantly in the last 2 days. I believe 2 days ago, Nimbus's PB was like almost 2 minutes worse than it is now. He PB'd by like 50 seconds and then by 45 or something back to back. So I think chericeri is pretty nervous for this race, with the 111 adjusted for loads. That does put her quite far behind. So she's going to be hoping that Nimbus makes some pretty big mistakes here, and she's going to also have to play pretty well. It's not impossible, especially in this division. You see some crazy stuff happening. It's very possible to lose multiple minutes, especially in the late game when nerves are happening and there's scary stuff, like the mech and like all of Bowser's Kingdom and Escape and stuff like that. Yeah, chat confirming that Nimbus isn't playing in handheld by choice. Apparently his Switch just doesn't work to dock, so... I guess that makes a bit more sense. Because I do see that he has a monitor. I mean, it's right above the Switch, but... You know what? Whatever works. Yeah, lots of British representation too. I didn't even think about that.
True, yeah. Kind of crazy.
Alright, well, pretty even cap king for both of them. It's nice to see neither of them kind of rushing ahead there. Maybe a 3 or 4 second lead for Nimbus, but nothing substantial so far. Cascade is where the tides could turn. We have Dino Skip coming up, which isn't... oh, chericeri golded cap! Oh wow, that's awesome. Congratulations, she has her little piece of paper there which says gold, which she she holds up whenever she gets a new gold in a race, which I think is awesome. I think we should all do that. But yeah, Dino Skip's coming up. Not a particularly hard trick, but it is very easy to like miss and kind of mold on it, because there's a very specific setup which a lot of runners do from capturing the dinosaur, and if you miss it the first time, it can kind of be hard to get back into that setup again. So you know, it's kind of one of those things where we either get it first try or it takes you ages and ages and ages. So that could be the first point of contention here. Chad is asking you, Smutty, to do a British accent for this race, to have full representation across the board.
I'm not sure if I can do that.
Let's hear your best bottled water.
You mean my bottled water, mate?
Bottled water, mate. Yeah, okay. 6 out of 10.
Thank you.
Alright, let's see. Nimbus going for Dino Skip now. Looks like no problems there. Yep, we had a little frame drop, but made it into the arena. Chericeri, same thing. Really good back with the dinosaur.
Cool.
Absolutely perfect.
Splendid.
Splendid. Absolutely lovely. There you go. And yeah, this boss is pretty straightforward. It doesn't... I'm not sure if Nimbus is going for the backflip strat here. He is. So he's going for the slightly more advanced strat, which he actually manages to get, where you hold out Cappy next to the chain chomp, backflip onto it so that you jump on it and stop it moving, and then return Cappy to Mario, which knocks off a hat. It's a pretty tight trick, that one, so I'm very impressed he managed to do that so effortlessly there. Chericeri opting for the slightly slower way of just waiting for the chain chomp to do the spinny attack and then do another attack to capture it, which is obviously much easier.
She had some issues with the chain chomp being too close to the wall, so she couldn't really pull it out the entire way. That also lost her a little bit of time. Quite a common mistake at that level. I can relate to that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It's the arena does feel a little bit too small for that boss, I think. It's very, like you said, it's very, very easy to just be a bit too close to the wall and you just can't pull the chain jump out all the way. But maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe they wanted you to do the whole thing where you like run around the arena trying to find a big enough space. I don't know. It's silly though. There you go, Nimbus has finished up Cascade. Chericeri is about a moon behind, which he's just collecting now. Not a huge difference yet. We definitely see the time save for Nimbus's Brood fight coming through right now, as he's halfway through the leaving cutscenes. But that's maybe only a 15-second lead or so. And Sand is where everything could change. Nimbus is going to be doing a different Ruin Sand to Chericeri. We saw Nimbus setting up Daylight Savings Time abuse at the start of the run, which means he set the clock, the system clock, to 7 minutes before Daylight Savings Time starts. So if he managed to get to Cascade fast enough, which I believe he did, he should be able to plant a seed before Daylight Savings Time starts, and then after Daylight Savings Time, the clock's gonna jump forwards an hour, and the seed is gonna grow, so he's gonna be able to take a slightly faster route through Sands. Let's hope it works out for him. And this lovely unfocused camera that we have.
We can see enough. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll just squint. We'll squint through the pixels, and maybe we can see some DSTA action.
Honestly, Chericeri could also go for manual DSTA and just not opting for the DSTA.
Yeah, that's true, although I just don't think that's faster, is the thing. Some people do that, but I'm pretty sure it just doesn't save time, at least that's the impression I was under, so I don't think she's going to go for that. Oh, Nimbus taking a bonk. Still manages to get the bird, which is good. That's a risk of making a mistake there, is that the bird can just fly straight past, and then it sucks to back up, because you kind of have to, you know, reload the area and wait ages for it to fly past again. Chericeri with some very smooth movement, getting up to the Alcove Moon. No problem. She's very happy with herself there. You can see her nodding. And waiting for the bird, and no problems there either. And here we're going to see Nimbus collecting that seed that he planted. Again, because of the way that he set up the system clock. Daylight savings happened while he was in that pipe, and the system clock passed forward an hour, so we could grab that seed. And it's funny because last night was the end of Daylight Savings for the US, I believe.
Ooh,
we
yeah,
had it a couple weeks ago, but
they got a bit later.
Yeah, quite timely. Alright, and here we go. So, it's gonna look a bit misleading here. It looks like Chericeri is in the lead because, you know, she's at the June and Nimbus isn't. However, as we can see, Nimbus has an additional 2 moons. He has the Seed Moon, which we did just talk about, and he also has Employees Only. So he's gonna be able to skip a couple later on in the Kingdom. Which means that although it does look like Chericeri's ahead, Nimbus is gonna pull ahead of her in, you know, maybe a minute from now. And cash in on that time save. So all we need to see from Chericeri here is that she continues playing as she is, you know, smooth movement, cautious, minimize mistakes, and, you know, try and keep that lead from increasing more than it should. There you go, some very nice movement up the icicles there. Neither of them going for the Bullet Bill minute to stop this Bullet Bill here from crashing into the wall, which is a little extra time save that you can do. It stops you having to like wait for a new one to spawn, but it can be a bit finicky. I don't really know what level people start doing that early. I also don't really know what it's called. I hear people calling it Dram or Double Dram, because if you do Dram, then you can do that Bullet Bill minute to like capture another Bullet Bill really quick. But you can also do it if you don't do Dram. But people still call it Double Dram, even though there's no initial Dram. It's very... I don't understand the people who name the tricks in this game. But here we go. You can see Chericeri going over to the Luggage Moon, and Nimbus can just skip straight past that because he got the 2 from town, one of them being the Seed. While Chericeri has to get the Luggage Moon, and she's going to go into the Flowing Sands area here. And now suddenly Nimbus is quite substantially ahead. And that's the time save from doing Daylight Savings Time abuse.
Left side. I'm pretty sure right side is faster.
Yeah, it is slightly faster to go off the other side of the ruins there. I think it's one of the old, maybe the small tutorial that teaches you to go off the left, but it's just one of those things that people did for a while and then somebody timed it and was like, oh, this is actually just slower. But the people who'd already learned it just, you know, never really figured that out, so...
I think there was even pre-Small tutorial, because
really? Was it that long ago? Oh, okay.
I learned Small tutorial and he teach the right side. But honestly, I think it could also be just a consistency thing. Just thinking that the other side is easier, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't have to roll like around the edge of the poison, so I can understand how runners might want to do that. Chericeri had a little bit of a scare there with the Bullet Bill. She grabbed the Pillar Moon very, very far to the left and then was kind of all wiggly with her line on the way over to Jaxi Skip. But it didn't manage to throw her off. She still managed to crash the Bullet Bill into the right part of the wall and get the wall jump for Jaxi Skip, which can be a little bit finicky sometimes. And here we go. Chericeri 2 moons behind as Nimbus clears up the Kingdom. She just has to go over to the Oasis and grab the final 2. I'm not sure what kind of lead that is. I think I should probably open up the spreadsheet.
Oh, which I always forget because it doesn't work half the time. But it does.
Any exclamation mark dives in chat?
True, we need dive.
We need dive.
Oh, I'm too slow. Crap. But yeah, it doesn't work perfectly, but it's fine.
Yeah, Chericeri is using live split 1, so we don't have live run data for her, sadly.
That explains it.
Yes. Yeah, she's on a Mac. Very sad. Alright, she's just finishing off sand now. She's happy with it. She gives us a thumbs up as Nimbus enters Lake. Let's see what happens here. You are a diva. Don't tell yourself otherwise, Smutty.
I hope I am. But I think I need to prove myself first.
Yeah. I'm just a stupid divs, man. Sucks out here.
But you're multiple divs. That's also fine.
Multiple divs, yeah.
You pretty much do 2 divs at once. Let's be honest. Let's all be divas.
Alright, pretty standard Lake stuff coming from Nimbus here. It's not a very interesting kingdom, especially at this level without Lake Clip. You know, there's very little to go wrong. It's just kind of move between the moons. Chericeri had a little bit of a problem getting stuck on the lamp there, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to move past. And the only kind of, I guess, scary part of this kingdom is the boss fight at the end, Rango. It's not a very hard fight when you learn the speed strats, but the hitbox is a little bit weird, and it is possible to kind of take damage, lose your cycles, and even die. So, you know, the runners are going to have to be a little bit careful here, but in general, I'd be surprised if I saw any kind of lead change in this kingdom. Little bonk there from Cherry and Nimbus. Here we go, stalling above Rango's head. He stands very close when doing those backflips, but it seems to work for him. Does another backflip there. Interesting. I've never seen that strat without the ground pound jumps.
I think that's a super old strat again, like a 2017 stuff that I saw, like, oh god.
Yeah, it looks like we've lost Nimbus' stream there, but he is just going through Odyssey cutscenes right now, so hopefully we're not missing any interesting gameplay. But yeah, Nimbus seems to be pulling out these really old strats. I wonder if he's a runner that learned the game a long time ago and just came back recently, or if he's learned it recently and just, you know, like learned it from some friends who haven't played it in a while, or from some old, like, world records or something. I don't really know.
I think he told me he's fairly new to the scene.
Interesting. Yeah, well, I wonder where he's getting these strats from, because I think from Cherry, who's a little bit annoyed that she took damage, but it should be recoverable. There you go. We're going to see the more normal strat where you bounce on him, ground pound, do a ground pound jump, and then cap stall in the air. That's what we normally do. We saw Nimbus landing after the initial bounce, backflipping, and then doing a ground pound stall in the air, which, again, I've never seen. You say is a super old strat, so yeah. But hey, if it works, it works. So it's a cycle-based boss, so, you know, neither's going to save time.
Yeah, but now we go into Wooded, which is like the polar opposite. There's so much that can happen in Wooded. Like at any level, it's always such a frightening kingdom, to be honest.
Every time that you get good at Wooded to a point where you're not worried about it anymore, you suddenly are at the level where you need to learn something new, and it's terrifying. And that cycle repeats itself like 5 times over your speedrunning career. You know, I'm kind of getting to my own point with Wooded, where, like, I'm not really that worried about it anymore. But, like, once I get a little bit better at the game, I need to learn, like, Pipes Clip, and then suddenly it's just going to be a whole thing again. So, yeah, you just never really get out of hell, really, with this kingdom.
Yeah. Like, Pipes and Maze Clip, like, Jesus Christ, I feel so sorry for y'all.
Yeah. Pipes isn't too bad, but Maze is just, it's just silly.
Yeah, Maze is brutal.
Yeah.
Pipes is at least recoverable, which is very nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Problem is when you get it in PBs, and at that point you're pretty much required to actually hit it for some good Wooded.
Yeah, exactly, for the comparison. Yeah, I mean, my old Switch 1 Wooded Gold had Pipes Clip in, and I still haven't managed to beat it on my Switch 2 because I don't do Pipes Clip anymore. And it's just, like, so frustrating, because it's like, I've gotten so many Woodeds that were way better than that Switch 1, and with the faster loads, but I just, you know, haven't managed to quite get there. Now, Cherry is struggling a little bit with the rocks, juggling them about. She manages to back it up well, doesn't break the one she's trying to smash it against, but she is a little bit disappointed. I think the pressure is getting to her a bit, and that mistake on Rango probably threw her off a little bit. And Nimbus is doing the slightly more advanced Wooded route. Let's see how this goes. This is Gory route, or intermediate route, depending on what you call it. This route was actually originally invented as a backup route for missing Nutclip, so that you could still kind of get the same moons. However, people just kind of started doing it if they weren't going for Nutclip in the first place, because they found that it was a little bit faster than the warp route that we're going to see Cherry doing. But what it does involve is running up the ramp there, which is pretty difficult. It's pretty easy to run up the ramp, you just kind of long jump onto it and mash A, but at the top, getting the jump off the top and the wall jump up can be pretty finicky. But Nimbus did manage to do it without any issue, so should be cashing in a little bit of time save here. The other nice thing about the Gory route is that you can skip out the flooded pipe sub-area, which is very slow and is really difficult to do quickly, because to do that area quickly you need to kind of get on one particular cycle, and it's really hard to kind of be fast enough and consistent enough to get that cycle every time. So even though it's in the beginner route, when people switch to this route they start cutting it out, not doing that sub area, and only come back to doing that sub area when they're like much better at the game and can consistently hit that cycle.
Oh. I was scared for a second.
Yeah, a little bit of sketchy movement there. But yeah, we're going to see Cherry here as part of the beginner route, the warp route, grabbing the checkpoint and now going down to pipes. And basically what that cuts out is... What does it cut out? The tree moon.
Tree
and
the fence.
then the fence moon. So it means that she doesn't have to do the weird jump up the wall and then the weird jump up the ramp. But she does instead have to do this sub-area, which is easier, but at the same time, you can see her raging a little bit there. Very easy to take damage and very easy to lose time. So that's why a lot of runners do opt for the intermediate route. I have tried to gently encourage her to learn the other route, but she seems pretty content doing this for some reason. So here we are. But there you go. She walks back up, and now the route is the same for her now as it was for Nimbus from here on out. Yeah, I mean, as Lucine pointed out in chat with the ramp, a lot of people think you have to mash A really fast to get up that ramp, but you just don't. You can tap A like very slowly and rhythmically, and it works absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And that's actually encouraged, because if you mash too fast, you can start losing jump inputs. You can get like kind of small hops at the top, which can mean you miss the jump up the fence and whatever. So, mashing a bit slower is good for ramp, but I don't really time them. High-level runners like time all their jumps perfectly so they get a triple jump at the top. I just kind of mash the A button and it just works. I don't know. Not much thought to it.
I think the side flip setup is still pretty good, even at like higher levels.
Yeah, I did the side flip for a
anytime.
while. It's not a bad way of doing it. It's another input that you have to think about, like flicking the stick downwards at the top. That, you know, it's complicated in its own way, but you also don't get the weird wall jumps. So it's just, there are loads of different ways of doing it. Each person has a way that they like more, and you're just gonna have to figure it out for yourself. But yeah, I think the side flip is a little bit slower than the single jump, and obviously a lot slower than the triple jump, because with the triple jump you can skip the wall jump. Yeah, that's a very high level strat anyway. Alright, and there we go. Nimbus finished the Spewit fight, absolutely no problems in Wooded. Really clean run so far, I think, from Nimbus. I haven't really seen any mistakes. And Cherry is just finishing up the tower and will be heading into the Spewit fight in a minute. I think that's probably about a minute difference between them. You know, pretty substantial, but nothing super drastic that Cherry won't be able to catch up on. And the thing is about this game, is that the mid game is very, very tough. Metro Kingdom, it doesn't seem that hard because, you know, there's no, like, giant vats of poison like there is in Lost, or giant death pits like Wooded. Like, you know, it doesn't seem that bad on the surface, but there's so many places that you can lose a lot of time in Metro just to sloppy movement and bonks and missing cycles and whatever. It can be tough. There we go. No mistakes on the Spewit fight for Cherry, and we now get to watch Nimbus do Bowser's. Setting up a vault there is interesting. It seems kind of unnecessary because, you know, Nimbus had to stop and like throw Cappy and jump and ground pound and roll, when you can just kind of long jump and then just jump off the edge of the platform and keep your speed there. But I guess it does kind of ensure that you get across the gap because you're not having to deal with the cloud platforms, which can be a bit finicky. We're seeing some really nice fast hats there. Got both of the first two so far, which is good because they're generally considered the harder of the three. So yeah, let's hope that he nails the last one.
Not really getting demon nips, but at that point, like, even doing fast hats in itself is just crazy, I'll be honest.
Oh, okay,
That's
good
back
recovery there, good recovery, yeah. Went for the fast hat, timed the backflip a little bit wrong, or the cap throw rather, and the hat landed outside the arena, but he managed to back it up. Really clean cloud. And yeah, I mean, I think at this level, the like platform nips aren't really thought about. Like, when you learn fast hats, you just learn fast hats, take the 10-15 seconds of time save or whatever it is. And then at a later point, you can come back and figure out how to properly minute Bowser, get him to jump to the right platforms, and save the last few seconds in cloud. Yeah, I'm interested to see Cherry's beginner or like entry movement here. to get into the fight. She did mess it up a little bit there, but yeah, that's the idea where you kind of open the first cloud platform and then you can long jump off it, and it just means that you can kind of keep moving through the whole thing. You're not having to stop your momentum like Nimbus did for the vault there, but you know, lots of different ways of doing things. And Nimbus is making his way through Lost, a very, very scary kingdom. Surrounded by poison, obviously, that hurts and kills you. There's a big bird that steals your hat, that hurts. And doesn't kill you, but it loses a lot of time. So you have to tread very, very lightly. And there we go. Cherry did make a mistake on the fast hat there, but backed it up really nicely. Going into, I believe, the third phase now? I was watching Nimbus' screen. Oh, yeah. Not opting for the third fast hat. I think she sometimes does that depending on like where the white hat spawns in the ring. But yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry. If you don't think that you can make it, then fair enough. And here we go, let's see this Lost Kingdom from Cherry. Nimbus is just finishing up, grabbing Last Moon. Pretty smooth loss there from Nimbus. Cherry has a very nice meme tree setup here that not a lot of people know about. It's an old one, I believe, from the Small Ant tutorials. It wasn't ever covered in Tomshi's, but it's a really like smooth way of getting that triple jump. It means you don't have to like go sit on the tree branch and like very slightly touch forward on the stick as you do your triple jump. You just start it from the ground, hold fully forwards, and it just kind of works every time. So that is one that I kind of recommend people learn. If they're having a hard time with meme tree. Yeah, I mean, Max, like, everybody has different things that they like and they don't like. I mean, that's the thing about speedrunning. You just have to try out all the different methods, even maybe try and come up with some of your own, and figure out what works for you. You might not like that method, and that's okay, but I do think it's worth giving a go, especially if you struggle with the other one, which I definitely did. Because, you know, the tree branch there is really weird that you jump off. The first kind of third of it has no collision. You can just fall straight through it. So to get the triple jump, you actually only have a very small strip of the leaf that you can actually jump off, which means that you just have to kind of like push forward a hair on the stick to make sure that you don't overshoot, and it can be a bit weird. Cherry going for the camera manip there to get the block to break. Another strat which isn't really seen very much. I don't really see anyone talking about it, but it's a very good way of doing it if you struggle to do the like damageless like actual lineup. It's that camera manip is more similar to reverse trapetal, where basically you position the camera in a way that the block it's in front of the one with the moon and actually unloads, so the trapetal just flies straight through it. It's basically the same as that, except with reverse trapetal you do it while getting the tree moon in like one piece of movement, and the camera thing kind of has you know, two distinct parts. But it's a really nice strat that isn't really taught by anyone anywhere. At least until you kind of learn reverse trapetal, and then people are like, oh yeah, and you can do this camera manip as a backup if you miss, and you're like, well, why wasn't I doing that the whole time?
Honestly, I did not know that that was how reverse trapetal worked. I thought it was just a positioning thing.
No, yeah, it's a camera thing, because in this game, anything that isn't on camera technically doesn't exist. That's kind of how they treat collision in this game, so we have it so that the moon block, the block with the moon in, is on camera, and the block behind it is off camera. And then when the trapetal flies towards the moon block, it just phases straight through the one behind it and breaks open the moon.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Nimbus is in the Wiggler boss fight right now.
He just got scammed. What the hell?
Did he?
Like, shot 10 shots. That was crazy.
Oh no.
That
yeah, the Wiggler. Yeah. The Wiggler's a weird fight. It can feel very janky at times. The hitboxes don't really make sense.
They're like more inwards, and outwards they're like some other hitboxes that block off the inner hitbox, like an extra sort of shell. It's like a bowl. And if you hit it from the wrong angle, it's like hitting against the bowl, but not really what's inside of it, which is the hitbox of the
Yeah,
Wiggler.
that's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah, you do have to be very precise with your shots. Make sure you're hitting right in the middle. And sometimes the Wiggler can like overlap itself, and if it does that, you can shoot one of the overlapped bits instead of the bit underneath you actually need. We see Nimbus having a little bit of a hard time here. It should be no problem. There you go. Manages to get it in the 2 cycle, which is exactly what you need. But yeah, if you spend too long there like shooting bits and they're not breaking and everything's going wrong, then the Wiggler's gonna go back into the wall and do a whole 3rd cycle and that loses a lot. No. Yeah, Cherry missed the cycle there, was very mad about it.
It was so close.
I know, yeah. That cycle is super tight. It's it can be pretty like rewarding to hit that at this level. It's not something that happens every run. But equally frustrating when you're really close like that and just barely miss. But managed to get to the moon without bonking and falling down, which is really good. And then there's one more jump here that hopefully goes okay. This is called blind jump. It's one of 2 or 3 different tricks in this game called blind jump. Again, people who name the strats in this game, really good at it. But yeah, the camera isn't facing where you're going, and it only turns around about halfway through the jump. And the camera turning can be a big issue because it essentially changes where you have to hold the left joystick to aim Mario. And sometimes a camera turn can happen while you're throwing out Cappy. That can lead to a value dive where you throw Cappy in one direction and dive in another direction because the camera's changed. So it's something that you do kind of have to adapt to, but pretty consistent when you get there. And let's see, let's hope that Wiggler goes the same for Cherry as it did for Nimbus. Got a pretty good pattern there, and she's doing what she should be doing, which is just holding one angle and just... Oh, good. She's doing what she should be doing and just holding one angle and shooting, you know, a series of shots to let the Wiggler move through the shots, as opposed to trying to, like, move your own cursor and aim at different parts. And yeah, you can see she's very scared there. The thing happened, which Smuddy was talking about with the bowl, I like what you said about the bowl, where she, like, shot the segment, but she didn't shoot like centrally enough, or she shot on like a different segment that was kind of overlapping a bit or something, and it didn't break the segment, and it's weird and scary. But she knew what to do. She was calm. She didn't like start mashing shots, which can end badly. She just shot one more like right in the middle of the segment, and that broke it. I don't know if anyone really knows like how the Wiggler hitboxes work, to be honest. I think it's just something that kind of as you do, you just get a feel for and understand how it works and when it works, and you know, that's about it. But maybe someone somewhere knows exactly how all the hitboxes line up and does it like that. Cherry going for Metro Dram? She's not sure about it.
Left. Oh, it worked, okay.
Okay, like, there you go.
Very interesting.
Yep.
Okay, both going for RC car. Let's see how it goes for Cherry.
You know, I don't know how to do this. Okay.
I never learned that, to be honest.
Yep, me neither.
I straight went into Scoot Clip with like a 122.
I did the same. Terrible idea. Don't do it, folks at home. I was the same. My first ever run, my 143, had Scoot Clip, and every run since then has had Scoot Clip. And there was one time where I was like, let me try the RC car, and I couldn't do it. I tried for so long. I couldn't get it. That thing's hard to control.
Forced to learn it for all moons or something, and then I just struggled the entire time. I could not do the like backwards thingy setup. It just didn't work. I
know. So I'm impressed whenever I see these Div E runners. Like they can do that, you know, do the RC car faster than I can, for sure.
Are they better than Div S runners?
In one way, yeah.
Don't run all caps.
There are so many of these random category extensions that are just like all blank, and it's just like a random like feature in the game, and it's like, how many can you come up with? All birds, all signs, all death animations, all all metro poles. Like where does it stop?
I think it stopped like recently. I think most of them were added like a few years ago.
Yeah.
But now we're just... There's been like kind of a movement to remove some of them who were unnecessary. Like, we removed maximum unique moon dump recently
Okay.
for very obvious reasons. I think
Yeah.
they only had 2 runs, and all runs were invalid because of some new findings.
Oh, no way. Because a new moon was discovered or something.
Yeah, just new methods
Yeah.
to collect more moons for a bigger
Okay,
moon dump.
yeah.
That's the thing with like maximum and minimum categories. You just
it's
have
tricky,
to like
isn't
always change it, like low percent,
Mhm.
because it keeps changing with new findings. It's
Yeah,
just
the way
very
that
annoying.
the way that a lot of leaderboards do it with like low percent is you say like if somebody beats it with a lower percentage than the world record, no matter what their time is, then they have the world record kind of. So the runs are kind of grouped into like all the 10% runs in order of time, and then below that all the 12% runs in order of time, and then below that all the 15% runs in order of time or whatever. But yeah, with something like Odyssey, that's a bit more tricky. Cherry had a little bit of a scare. It looked fine to me, but she was freaking out, so fair enough. I don't really know why she was so scared of that. I'd have to watch it back. She's still in shock. Yeah, I guess she's just locking in. Alright, so Nimbus has moved into the second half of the game. Ending Metro is pretty much exactly halfway through the run, so we consider anything after Metro, you know, Snow, Seaside onwards, to be the second half. And this is when I really like the second half of the run, personally. I think it's a lot more fun and interesting.
It is so much more consistent for some reason. I have
It
no
is,
clue why.
yeah. It's a lot more movement-based. The first half of the run is very trick-heavy. Lots of these, you know, things which have, like, a certain chance of working, and if they don't, it's just, like, guaranteed time loss, and if they do, it's guaranteed time save. But the second half has very few tricks, very few stuff like that. It's all just about movement and being consistent and getting through the levels, you know, damage control. And I just think that's a much more fun way to play the game, so I'll always like the second half a lot better.
Nimbus going into shop. Are we going to see ICC this time? Finally?
Oh man. Not the ICC joke.
It will never end.
It will never end until we get to Div S, and then it's actually a genuine question.
We might have seen some ICCs in this tournament already.
Really? Oh, damn.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea how to do that trick. I have done it a few times, but that was just, like, guessing. And that's a day Metro
chericeri
gold!
gold! Wait, that's actually so cute. Holy shit.
I know. Well,
I
she
love
did it in
that.
cap, but I don't think you saw that.
Oh, I didn't. My bad.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, me and you both, BFG. Me and you both. BFG and I have like a weird soul connection. We both have the same name and are the exact same height.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, it's freaky.
That's insane.
And we both have sub hours in Super Mario Odyssey, right?
Oh, yes, you have. BFG is the goat, actually. No way. More than one person in the world is named Zach? That can't be.
There are so many speedrunners called Zach. There are at least 4 that I know of. Maybe 5. There's 4 of us that have sub-hour. I think BFG is the 5th. Okay, Nimbus is having a little bit of a hard time capturing the Goombas there. Managed to get away with it, and offering just to waddle along that bridge instead of jumping across, which I can respect. Other than that, it's been a pretty clean snow for him so far. Oh,
that was...
I spoke a bit too soon. There you go. Yeah, going for the alien capture there is quite a move, especially at this level, because you know, it is slightly faster to kind of jump over the button with the Goombas, and then uncapture in midair and start diving towards the moon as the Goombas fall down onto the button. But the button is very weird, and it kind of behaves, and the Goombas kind of behave by themselves sometimes, and sometimes they kind of land on the button, but it doesn't activate, and then you end up just diving towards this, like, moon that isn't open, and you just fall into the void and die, so... That's usually something that we don't see at this level, but Nimbus did try to go for it there, and ended up almost biting the dust to it. And there we go, he's going into the last area of the kingdom, taking a little bit of a bonk on the way in. I don't think there's really any good movement to go into these corridors, honestly. They can be a little bit finicky. There we go. A nice Snow Kingdom for Nimbus. A couple bonks here and there, but nothing, you know, super bad. Still managing to keep that pretty big lead, which he has. And that's the thing, he doesn't need to play well to lock down this race, you know? He doesn't need to pull out some crazy strats and do really fast movement. If he takes everything just a little bit slower, 1 or 2 seconds slower here and there, to ensure that he's safe and doesn't take any falls, then that will really help him secure this win. So let's just hope that he does that, because it can be very easy when you've got a lead like this, just to think, oh, I'm so far ahead, I can do whatever, and then like go for everything, and then end up, you know, making some big blunder and losing it all. So we'll see how he plays. There's 2 very different mindsets to go about this kind of position. Yeah, Cherry had a little bit of a hard time jumping up there. Does she know that you can shake jump with the Goombas? I'm not really sure. She was just doing like B jumps to get up that, and, you know, fell down because she didn't get much height. But if you stand on the icicle and then do a shake, you can jump straight up to the button without having to like land on the bit in front of the button first. Now that's a good way of entering that room. I was saying there's no good way up that corridor, but that was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I guess your options are pretty limited right there. I always feel that.
Yeah, it's because the problem is the steps are like so spread apart. So you can't just like clear them all with one big jump dive. But then the alternative is doing like lots of mini jump dives, which is, you know, kind of slow and weird. But I think that's probably the way to do it, is like getting some speed beforehand with a long jump or a dive, and then just doing some little hops up the stairs to like maintain your speed, and then diving into the room at the end.
Yeah. I try to do some like roll cancel up throw stuff
Oh,
into
right.
CRJ or something, and it's like, it's fine, but it's not really faster.
Yeah, I can imagine what you mean. Sometimes you just gotta accept that a piece of movement's gonna be kind of slow and just take it. You can roll boost up? That's insane.
Honestly, I can see that, but it looks so tight.
Yeah, that would be absolutely crazy, I'm sure.
Oh. That was finicky, but he got the fish clip.
Yeah, I got fish clip in the
nice.
end. Took it a little bit safe, but that's absolutely
Let's hope
okay.
he doesn't clip on
Ooh.
bounce, please. Please watch out, Jesus
I
Christ.
think we're okay.
We are, let's go.
Yeah.
Nice.
He had a lot of speed there. Was kind of zooming about all over the place. It's very hard to like cancel your speed with the fish if you're zooming about. But he managed to get it under control without clipping back and bounds, just barely. A little bit sketchy though. Alright, decent seaside there for Nimbus. Cherry collecting her third moon now. She's very happy that she got that. I don't know how that moon usually goes for her. It can be weird though. That one, because that room it's got like a 2D camera, like the camera's side on, you can't move it around. But the room does have depth, and the moon is kind of in the middle of the room depth-wise, and it's very easy to dive like in front of it or behind it or underneath it or whatever, and not really know what you're doing wrong because, you know, the game kind of pretends it's 2D. And the reason is because casually you're meant to get a gush and capture, which is like the little like fish bubble thing that like sprays water. You're meant to use that in that sub area, and those are like really wide, so I think the depth doesn't really matter. But yeah, going in there as Mara, it's very easy to just dive kind of around the moon and fall down. So that's probably why she was happy that she made that. But yeah, Nimbus is now in Luncheon Kingdom.
He went for the roll.
He did. That was a very bold move. But yeah, Luncheon is very long, very scary, and very difficult. It's kind of like the Wooded of late game, if you like. It takes a very long time to get consistent at Luncheon. And it's the longest single split in the run, you know, unless you count like Meta or Bowser's as just one split, but most people put those into two. And if you do that, then Luncheon is the longest split. There's lava everywhere. It's a hard one. But yeah, we started off with this Spewer boss fight, which is exactly the same as Wooded. It's pretty easy to get past. Cherry gets a very nice fish clip there. Very smooth. Let's hope that she can control her fish speed a little bit better than Nimbus did.
Oh, she's also fast. Oh my god.
Struggling.
What?
Manages to line up and shake for that moon, and we're good. It's really crazy that both runners...
I'm getting a heart attack with them. Jesus Christ.
That's crazy. That's insane. We're fine, everybody. We are fine.
Just zoom in, man.
Yep.
Beats
Alright, I'm going to call that a 2-ish minute lead for Nimbus there. Maybe a little bit more.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention too much to the time.
Nimbus messed up the triple jump to the Salt Moon a few times, so Cherry could...
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
And also got the weird wall jump after lurking.
Yeah, and
I hate that wall jump.
Going over to Alcove and Bonk going into that sub area. I think Nimbus is... Another one? Okay.
Wow. She's locked in.
She's locked in. And Nimbus doesn't seem to be too locked in. He seems to have lost his focus a little bit with all these mistakes so far in Luncheon. I mean, like I said, it's a tricky split, but it is possible just to kind of get out of the flow state and just not really think, and then the mistakes make you overthink them even more and you start making more. So we'll see if he gets this under control or not. The next few moons have great potential to go very badly wrong. So hopefully he can get this back under control and get back into the flow again. Cherry making that jump first try, no problem. She does it with a ground pound jump as opposed to a triple.
Yeah, a triple is not really necessary, to be honest, even at that level.
Yeah, it's exactly. And the trickiest part of that jump is being the right distance from the wall. If you're too close to the wall, there's this little like lip that goes around it that you can get your head stuck on and you can't make it up. If you're too far away, then you just lose too much height going for the wall jump.
Oh, she went for wall jump less.
That was bold.
Bold move.
So yeah, that first jump, the height isn't really an issue, which I would always recommend doing a backflip or a ground pound jump instead of a triple jump, because you just need to control your distance there. But yeah, Cherry went there for a wall jump skip, which is maybe only like a 0.3, 0.4 second time save. It is pretty consistent if you grab the like Alcove Moon high up enough every time, but as you can see, it doesn't work every time, and she did unfortunately take a fall. But the other problem is that strip of wall, like I said, there's a weird lip, and if you wall jump on it in the wrong spot, then you kind of get shot downwards instead of going upwards like a wall jump usually does. So it's just, ugh, it sucks. That wall sucks. Yeah, I mean, the triple jump is fine if it works, BFG. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad strat. And here Nimbus is going around, taking the little mound of lava to get up. Which is disappointing to see. People really struggle with the kind of exploity lava jump. So many people, so many people, even like high-level runners, just don't understand how that jump works and can't do it. But really, if you spend like 3 minutes learning it, I think there's a tutorial that like
Yeah.
Tom's. I don't know. Someone
04
made
has a
tutorial.
really good
It was at
tutorial.
04. It was 04,
Yes.
wasn't it? Yeah. There's like a 5-minute long tutorial that you can
That
watch
was a
and you'll just get it every
lifesaver.
time. Yeah. Because it's not like people think it's like a tricky tight jump, but it's not. They just don't understand how it works, and then they miss it every time. So it is worth learning. It does save a good few seconds. I'll try and point out how it works when Cherry gets there for anyone in chat who is, you know, like these runners I'm talking about and just doesn't know how to do it at all. But yeah, it does look like Nimbus has taken back a little bit of control, a little bit of the flow state in the rest of this luncheon. It's been pretty smooth since those few mistakes at the beginning, which is nice. And he's heading into the last 2 moons. The first of which is very sketchy. As I said, I think he saves it? Okay. Wow, that was quite something. I don't even know what happened. He threw Cappy while standing and like kept all of his momentum and shot off the edge of the platform, but he managed to dive onto a bit of the wall with like a weird slope that lets you dive onto it without bonking. That was very interesting. Marco, I do the spin pan RCB for Jetstream. It's completely pointless and slow, but it's fun, so I do it.
Yeah.
You hold upright, more right after shaking and jumping. If we're talking about the lava bubble thing, then it sounds like you don't know how it works either. This is the thing, people are like, oh, you do this like shake setup and you hold this specific angle and then you shake and do this, and it's no. The way that the lava jump works, coming up. Alright, we're having a little lesson here, chat. It's kind of like with the uproots when you do like a hop off an upward slope and you get extra speed. It's the same thing. If you do a jump off an upward slope, you get extra height. So all this jump is there's a little upward slope before the wall. And if you shake into it and then jump off the upward slope, it like sends you up to the top. Exactly like that. That was a perfect demonstration. Thank you, Cherry.
Perfect tutorial.
Yeah. So people like, you know, worrying about shake time, they think you have to like jump right next to the wall or do this very specific shake. It's nothing like that. All that the shake does is it just gives you speed and makes you fast. You can do it without a shake. You can do it just swimming up. But all you need to do is go up that slope, and when you're kind of halfway up, you just press B and you make it up. That's all it is. Just a little bit away from the wall.
The thing is that slope is very hard to see. Like you don't really notice that there is a slope at all.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Pretty much.
And that's why people don't really get it, you know, because the slope is subtle. But if you like go there and just sit there in a lava bubble and kind of look around with the camera, put the camera like next to the lava, you can see the slope, and then you just start aiming for it. And actually, the second jump is part of that movement. It's the same thing. It's too high to make normally, but there's a slope there. That one is much more obvious. You can really see that. But the slope is right next to the wall, so if you jump next to the wall, it gives you enough height. Whereas the first slope is a little bit away from the wall.
Okay, thank you very much for the tutorial, Zach. Shoutouts
to
you.
Yeah.
The same way we do the shoutouts since we are in
what
now.
A transition! Okay.
Transition of all time. And with that, we will run the commands. We have the runners Nimbus and chericeri right here playing for us. Thank you very much. We have the comms, me and Zach. Hello.
Fire comms, if I do say so myself.
Fire comms, can only agree. We have our lovely Restreamer, Cosmic64 himself. Thank you very much for all of your work. And who is the... Can I type statistician on my first try? Let's go!
Let's go! That's impressive. I don't think I could do that, and I'm native.
I'm practiced.
Yeah.
That is Lucine, our statistician. Shout out to you as well.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into making these tournaments happen and run smoothly behind the scenes. I think people don't quite realize there are loads of people like, you know, working constantly. I mean, even just scheduling matches, there are so many divisions, so many players, you know, DMs flying about all over the place, people dropping out saying they can do this time, can't do this time. It's really hard to get these things going. So huge thank you and huge shout out to everybody who puts in all the work and stuff. And the runners themselves wouldn't be the same without them. You know, both of these runners are relatively new to the speedrunning scene, and still improving, and could go very far if they keep grinding. So definitely people you want to watch and look out for, because you never know. The Div E runners of this year can be the Div A runners of next year. It sounds cheesy, but it's true. I remember the first ever tournament I did was the freshman tournament. Were you around for that, Smuddy?
When was that again?
Ah, gosh. It started like December of 2020. Ran through early 2021.
I don't think I even knew
Really?
about that
Okay.
at
It was
that
like
time.
right when I started speedrunning the game.
I see.
I posted a PB that I got. I think it was like a 118 in the Odyssey Discord, and then I get a DM from, I don't even know who it was. But I get a DM after posting this PB in the Odyssey Discord, having not been a part of the community at all. Like I didn't know anybody. Being like, hey, we're starting a tournament. They're called the Freshman Tournament for beginner runners. Do you want to join? And I said no. I was like, it's Christmas, I don't have time. And they're like, oh, no. It's not like a one-time thing. Like, it goes on for like a couple months, right? Like, you can arrange your matches whenever you want. I was like, okay. And I joined it whenever. And sure enough, the commentators there, they say like, hey, it may be the Freshman Tournament. You may not think much of these runners, but pay attention to them, because a few years from now, these are going to be sub-hour runners. And then sure enough, there are a few of us nowadays playing in the Div S with our sub-hours, or even better, This is how every runner starts out. Don't pay attention to Lucy. They're not going out.
I think she was, or they were referring to Cosmic.
Oh, I see.
Doing some command stuff.
Oh yeah.
But now we paid attention. Oh no. I'm so sorry.
We did the thing they
We've
said
been
not to.
tricked.
Oh, darn it. Gosh, freaking darn it.
By the way, we have another tradition. I don't know if it's ever since this tourney or the previous one, but we always save Toad in Ruined. And I think Cherry did not do that so far.
I am appalled. I taught her how to run this game, and she would forsake me like that and not save Captain Toad. I think that's just an automatic disqualification, honestly.
True.
True.
Cannot be not saving Toad.
I know. Anyway, it is Shard's time for Nimbus, a very famously hard part of the run, and he is having a hard time getting onto that roof. The Shards are they're just weird. There's bombs going about, there's pits of death, there's Pokios trying to poke you. There's just a lot going on. It can be pretty difficult to do this fast, but Nimbus doesn't need to do it fast. He just needs to get through it without making any big mistakes. So he took a little bit getting up the wall, a little bit, jumping around, trying to avoid the bombs, but it all worked out. And he gets through it still with his lead, and that's kind of all he needs right now.
I think Nimbus is going for crates, it seems like. Has not gone for Glory Hole or Bird Ram so far.
Now that's interesting. Yeah, it is very slightly faster. So in Bowser's Kingdom, it doesn't say that you have like a required moon count until you beat the mech, and then it's like, psych, you need 8 moons to get to the next kingdom. The reason is the devs are like, oh yeah, like this is the last kingdom, wink wink. And it's like, surprise, you actually need to keep going, whatever. But that basically means that we have to collect 2 extra moons along the way to be able to get to the next kingdom. And one of them is the moon that Nimbus just got there on top of the roof. But the other one, there are a few different options. The fastest one is to get the crate, which I believe Nimbus is doing in the second half of the kingdom. It's faster if you do like fast movement over to it. But the problem with the crate moon is that it's all like over a big void of death. You're meant to do it by capturing a bird and doing some really slow stuff. But it's all over a big void and can be very risky. So if you don't do the fast, risky movement, I think it doesn't really save time. Cherry is going for the actual, faster moon for a beginner runner at least, which is this one. You leave Cappy up by a Pokio, give the controller a shake as she's demonstrating beautifully, and boom, capture up to the Pokio. That's called Bird Ram. And I would take a guess that by doing that, Cherry's actually going to save time over Nimbus, despite Nimbus doing the faster moon. We'll see. We'll see. But out of 107, I'm going to imagine that he's going to do some slightly slower movement for the crate, which is actually just going to lose time to the bird moon. It's a very
Line
tricky
jump is
balance.
Line jump is also part of crates, technically. Unless you do
Yes,
5 but
yeah,
we don't expect that here.
That's true. That's the other problem with crates, is that after getting the crate moon, you go through a pipe, you leave the pipe, and then your camera is stuck in position for like 4 or 5 seconds. You can't move it. And you have to do like kind of a difficult tight jump with the camera pointed in a direction that means you can't see where you're going. I don't know if anyone remembers, in City Hall, I said this is blind jump. There are a couple of blind jumps in any percent. This is the other one that we also call blind jump. You know, very confusing, I know. So yeah, that's the other problem with crate, is that you can't see what you're doing for that jump. Whereas if you don't get the crate moon, you don't have the pipe animation, you don't have the camera lock, you can see where you're going. So there's a chance here that Nimbus just like sits and waits for the camera to turn back around, which would just lose even more time to Birdram. Cherry did unfortunately take some damage on the spiny. She's getting very mad. I think she's getting stressed because, you know, she knows that she needs to play good to be able to catch up, and she knows that she needs to see a big mistake from Nimbus. But at the end of the day, the mindset which she should be having right now is that Nimbus is 2 minutes ahead, and there's no way that she can get that back without Nimbus making a mistake, you know?
Yeah.
So she shouldn't try and rush herself. She shouldn't panic. She shouldn't, you know, get anxious about, you know, saving back this time, because it all relies on him. And she just needs to play as smoothly as she can, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. She couldn't have done any more. But yeah, she seems to be getting quite tilted. Like, you know, she jumped past the moon once, I lost a second, and we just see despondency from her. So here's Nimbus getting the crates moon, as I suspected, definitely losing time to Birdram. You know, that movement alone probably lost 3, 4, 5 seconds to doing Birdram. And here is where we get that camera lock that I was talking about. As I thought, he kind of stops and waits for the camera to turn around and then takes a slower way up for that jump, again losing a few more seconds. So that's just another, I say another, we haven't really talked about it yet, but that's the thing that you see with a lot of beginner runners, is that they go for all of the stuff that the world record does. Like they watch a world record or like a high level runner or whatever, like a streamer that they like. They watch them and they're like, oh, this streamer gets this moon, I'll just copy that and get this moon, but the movement they do is a bit difficult, so I'll do this other movement, which is a bit easier. Not realizing that they're actually just losing a ton of time doing that, and there's another alternative, which is easier and faster to doing the harder one, you know. It's a very easy mistake to fall into, but it's, you know, it just shows the importance of watching the actual, you know, community beginner tutorials and talking to other community members and that sort of thing.
Oh no!
Now Nimbus is going for Birdless Mech! Oh,
that
that's
is
so sad. Yeah, usually you capture a Pokio here, bomb the legs of the mech, make it fall down, and kind of do that between each phase. But the speedrunner strat is to stay on top between the phases like this. Every time that launches you off, you kind of turn the camera back towards it and do some pretty tricky jumps to get back up. And Nimbus is opting to do it without a single bird.
Oh no, he went for the dive.
And unfortunately taking a fall. That's a risk with doing kind of high level strats like that.
That's what Cherry needs right there.
That is what Cherry needs, yeah.
And
you know,
Nimbus...
the more entry level strat is to capture a bird and knock down the mech, kind of more like the intended way. But Nimbus unfortunately losing out to that risk reward that he decided to go for the birdless mech. This should be recoverable. Hopefully he doesn't mold any further, but mech can be weird from this position. He's going to have to sit and wait for it to spit out some bombs and then spit out a Pokio, and then he's going to have to climb up those tiny bubbles on the side, which can be pretty tricky. He took damage, unfortunately. He might go for the heart. He doesn't, playing it a little bit risky. Manages to climb up, despite the tightness. Breaks another bubble. Let's hope that he manages to get back on again.
Going for the dive again, but it worked out this time. And I think he's up. Yep.
Okay, we're good. And
the rest
he
was clean.
breaks the final bubble.
Never mind. Okay,
just like that. Okay. Yeah, good bit of time loss that. Good amount of time loss on the mech. You know, because he kind of went for the riskier stuff. Took his dives a little bit too tight. But still managing to keep his lead. Not quite enough for Cherry to catch up. Although she is going to save some time here as well. We're going to see, because she got the bird moon earlier, like we've been talking about, that crate moon, which Nimbus went down for to the right there, she just goes straight past. Time save number 1. Time save number 2 is now she can see where she's going, because the camera isn't locked out of the pipe, so she can take that really big jump across the gap, whereas Nimbus was kind of like waiting for the camera to turn, climbing across the bombs, you know, taking it a bit safer. So yeah, that is definitely good to see. And yeah, Cosmic is right. Like, Cherry did lose time on bird round to taking damage, but I think that's, you know, not very common. That's a mistake, right? The time loss there. That doesn't happen every run, but for Nimbus in the crate movement, that just is what he does, if that makes sense. But yeah, we're going to see Cherry going for the slower but much safer strat here, which is you wait for a Pokio to come out instead of trying to climb up those tiny little bubbles on the legs, which have like horrible hitboxes. She does a little manip there to make sure 2 bombs spawn before stunning the mech, because once you hit the mech with a bomb, it will stop spawning them for a little bit. So she lets 2 spawn, pokes them both back, and then breaks a Spute Bubble here. And now what she's going to do is poke into the side of the mech, and that will lift her up. And now she's on top the same way that Nimbus was before. So, you know, the point in that strat is it gets you on top of the mech still, like the birdless one does, in a slightly slower way, but a much safer way. But you do still have to do these tricky dives on top, which is what Nimbus fell down to. So hopefully Cherry can keep that under control. Yeah, the bomb spawn saves a good few seconds. It's an important one. She's having an absolute jam to the music. Look at her go. She's having a great time. Ba-dum bum, ba-dum bum, ba-da-da-dum dum da-da-da-da-dum. I hope I was synced up there. I can't hear the game audio.
Let me hear. Not at all.
Not at all. I tried. And there we go. Really clean mech from Cherry. She's so happy about it. She's given a fist bump and a thumbs up.
Oh god.
And
Goodness gracious.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
You know. Well, Nimbus is doing Mooncave skip. Mooncave skip is the biggest skip in the run. It saves like 3 minutes. I think that was first try. I was looking at
Yeah,
mech,
that was
so
really clean.
If you had any missed attempts. But yeah, basically there are some really weird walls that face each other slightly there, and you can get 2 wall jumps when you're usually only able to get 1, and you can skip right past the whole Mooncave. Very big time save. Also very easy. Every runner does it. And let's see how Bowser goes. Nimbus did go for the fast hat strat.
What was that vault?
I think that was an accident, question mark?
Definitely. 100%.
It worked, he hit the cycle, yeah. But yeah, Nimbus went for fast hats in the Cloud Bowser fight, so I'm assuming he's going to go for them again here. It's the exact same thing in the second Bowser fight, other than the first phase is different. But the second and third phase works exactly the same fast hats wise, so the only reason not to go for it would be nerves. And I think Nimbus is alright, he's been going for pretty much everything. I will also note Cherry is on PB pace.
True.
She is minus 19 seconds leaving Bowser's with a 1:11.53 best possible time on a Switch 1. Bear in mind, guys, her PB isn't a 1:11.24. That's her PB adjusted for Switch 2 loads. Her actual PB on a Switch 1 is a 1:12.15. So if she plays within 6 seconds of her moon gold here, she will get an actual 1:11 on a Switch 1, which would be really cool. She'd be super happy with that. So let's hope that we see a smooth moon here from Cherry, and even if she does end up losing this race, which does seem like the more likely outcome, hopefully she can still get a PB and be happy with how she performed. And there we go, Nimbus, really nice fast hats there. Super clean Bowser fight. This is a really good moon for Nimbus so far, I think. Heading into the final section of the run, the escape sequence. The escape sequence isn't really that hard. You play as Bowser, you break a bunch of blocks, it's really fun. But the only problem with it is that if you die anywhere, you get sent back right to here, to the beginning. So if you die at the end of the escape sequence, you can lose upwards of 3 minutes. You know, it can be pretty rough. Cherry, unfortunately, taking a bonk there. That's going to make this 1:11 a little bit tighter. I really hope that she can clean up the rest. She's going to need fast hats, I think, which isn't great. Or at least she at least needs a second phase fast hat. She might be able to get away without the third. But let's see how this Mooncave skip goes for her.
Oh,
Unfortunately, got a weird cap throw there, which kind of went sideways. Managed to get the bounce on the second time. Looks like a good wall jump.
Yes.
Yeah, we make it up. Okay, nice. This is going to be really tight.
Yes, it
is. Be very tight indeed. There's always time save. There's always time save, especially in the escape sequence when Nimbus is now. Especially in the final room in Pillars. You know, if you just get lucky with your shots and whatever, you can save a lot of time. But equally, the opposite can happen. It can all go very downhill. There you go. Nice 2D death from Nimbus. Nothing, no crazy movement. Takes it nice and safe, but that's kind of what you need in this position. And going into the final room, the Pillars room. Very nice first phase there from chericeri. And let's see how Let's see how Nimbus handles this Pillars, is what I was trying to say.
He is quite nimble, let's be honest.
He is pretty nimble. I mean, look how fast his run
first
is.
pillar. What the hell?
Yeah, that was pretty good. He managed to just break the first pillar on the first way around. Most of the time at the kind of beginner level, we see runners just throwing a few shots at the first pillar and moving on and kind of coming back for it afterwards. But he managed to break it down fully there, which is really good. Looks pretty clean to me. I'm pretty sure, I was looking at Nimbus' screen, I'm pretty sure Cherry got the second fast hat there, which is really nice.
Oh, that's crazy.
There we go. That is the end of the run for Nimbus. I think that's a 109.02 or 109.03.
I could not tell.
01. I lied. Pretty damn good run for Nimbus. Congratulations on the win.
GG.
Cherry is going for the third fast hat there. And gets it!
Ooh,
She's
got
so
it.
happy. The 111
That's nice,
might be
that's
back in the bag. Hell yeah. But anyway, sorry, Nimbus. Nimbus won the race. That's awesome. So Nimbus will be moving on to the playoffs. Unfortunately, that does mean that this is Cherry's last race of the 2025 Open Tourney. I know, very sad, but hopefully she can finish it out with a big PB. She's PB'd in like 2 of her races so far, I think. She's been pretty on the ball with it, so hopefully we can make it another one. It's going to be tight though. It's going to be tight. She needs to finish Escape in about 2.5 minutes. Which, you know, for a high-level runner is pretty much guaranteed 111, but just depending on how things like Pillars go, it could still be up in the air. But getting both the fast hats really helps. I think her gold only has 1 of the fast hats, if I remember right. So yeah, big praises for Cherry.
Should she go for 2D skip? I would be surprised, honestly.
Hell no. She I have beef with her. She refuses to hold Y in this section.
Oh,
you can hold Y here to sprint.
She really doesn't.
Weren't aware, but she doesn't. She's scared of that, so she just walks around all over the place. It loses so much time.
Yeah.
But fair enough. You know, every little bit to be safe. I think she struggles to. You have to press X to shoot fireballs, so I think she struggles to like press X while holding Y, which is fair enough. It's a bit weird with like your thumb.
Gotta do like claw grip, which is a very weird.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't
controller.
claw. I just like hold Y and roll my thumb across the buttons. But I quite
that
like
also works.
So I guess it
I claw for everything.
That's weird. Well, I've noticed Tyrone's been using a like hand cam recently, and he uses claw grip all the time. It's so weird.
It works.
It works. It works. All right, we need something like a 110 Pillars here from Cherry. Again, not like hard.
Yeah,
but not easy. I think she maybe hit 2 or 3 shots on that first pillar, which like should be good. Really nice second pillar. I'm stressed.
Yeah, me too.
2, 3, 4. Really nice third pillar. Okay. She needs to be breaking that final pillar.
Only needs like 2
about
shots.
111.
1 shot
40.
only. Okay.
1 shot left. I think that's it. I'm pretty. That is a 111, everybody. That's
oh my goodness.
That's like a 111.48 or something. Oh my goodness.
40. Okay, 48.
Oh hell
47?
yeah.
47. Let's go. GG,
What a
PB.
great
And another gold.
A moon gold, even with the bonk, even with the mooncave skip.
Let's
It's
go.
a 6-second moon gold. Wow,
Really
she's
nice.
been on it. She's been on it with the PBs in the races. That's awesome. What a way to go out of the tournament. Wow. Congratulations, both runners. I think we have them ready for some little post-match interviews.
Yes, we do. Hello.
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 Hello, runners. Hello, hello. Nimbus, congratulations on the win. We're going to come back to you in a second and start with chericeri, but well done on the race. Cherry, what a way to go out of the tournament.
Yeah, I couldn't have done any better than that. I gave it my very best shot. I PB'd by another 28 seconds. So I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a great track record of PBing in races. This is what, your third one or something?
I think so. I think I can only PB in a race.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, you came into this tournament with like a high 114 that you didn't feel like you could improve upon, and then you've just done run after run after run. Haven't even added any new strats apart from fast hats really, and brought your PB all the way down to 111, and that's where you're leaving. So I'd be proud of yourself.
I've dropped 3 minutes, so yeah, that's pretty good going. I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, we're going out on a high note. That's lovely to see.
Mm-hmm.
And Nimbus, moving on to the playoffs. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Not looking forward to playing Switch Runner. Well, at least my last race where I had a chance of winning was a good one. I dropped a 109, which I'm pleased with. The entire first half of my game I'm really happy with. Everything after Metro except for Moon was horrible. I'm very much not happy with everything after that. But Moon was great. It's the first time I've done fast hats in a run, so that was a huge goal to end up being. So I'm pleased with that. Dropping a 109 in a race makes me very happy because like I only dropped my first 109 2 days ago. So this is kind of huge for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. Yeah, the improvement has been crazy. I mean, I've seen your PBs the last couple of days. I know they were kind of freaking cherry out.
Oh my gosh, I was so stressed.
30-second PB, a 40-second PB. What's going on? But yeah, I mean, you're just improving so fast. I'm really excited to see where you end up through the playoffs, and then after this tournament, how far you get. I think you have a lot of potential.
Yeah, I mean those PBs have been a long time coming. My sob is like I think it's a 106 now.
Wow. Okay.
So
yeah, so still a long way to go. Cool.
It's been a while. I just could not get a run going, and then I finally managed to pull it off. I do respect that. I'm like, I think over half of her races, Cherry has PB'd. So I think that's respectable.
I PB'd either 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember. Definitely
That's
3.
insane.
All right, we do have one more burning question to ask you, though, Cherry.
Oh,
Me?
controversial question.
Didn't you save Captain Toad?
Because you've never told me how to save Captain Toad.
Save Captain Toad.
No excuses. No
you
excuses.
You didn't save Captain Toad?
Look, there is one person in this room who's the one who taught me the game. I think he is to blame.
All right. Anyway, do you have anything to add, Smutty? Any more questions to ask?
No, other than GG's on the PB and winning the race, Nimbus. That was really entertaining to watch and to commentate.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, runners, for racing today and for taking part in the tournament. I wish you well with the rest of it, Nimbus, and I wish you well with your forthcoming Odyssey adventures, Cherry. I hope you continue. Maybe get that 109.
Maybe.
Thank you so much for co-commentating with me, Smutty. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for restreaming Cosmic. Absolute legend. And we will see you for more awesome races today.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.